As an Oriental medical doctor, I'm trained to assess a patient holistically. Part of that assessment uses the concept represented by this symbol, which represents the concept of opposition. You may have heard that there has to be opposition in all things. This symbol illustrates that concept. This side of the circle is yin, and this side is yang, and everything can be placed into one of these categories, including everything in your body. When assessing a patient, I look for the relationship between their yin parts and the corresponding yang parts. Identifying any imbalance helps me determine what's wrong and what I can do to help. The further out of balance a person is, the sicker they are. Government can be evaluated in the same way. In government, we use political parties to facilitate elections, to increase our access to government officials, and to stimulate competitive thinking. Utah's government currently looks like this. Our state Senate is 83% Republican. Our state legislature is 84% Republican. All office holders in the executive branch are Republican. What you see here is called a supermajority because the majority party can do anything they want. They have no meaningful opposition. As you can see, Utah's government is way out of balance. It's sick. How did it get this way? We elected too many Republicans. Is that a bad thing? Yes, it is. A supermajority is bad no matter who it favors. But aren't most Utah citizens Republican? No, most Utah citizens are independent. Then how did we let this happen? It happened because of the Utah myth. The Utah myth has been around for several decades, and it has two parts. The candidate who most likely shares my values is the Republican. All LDS people are Republicans. Here's how the Utah myth has created our sick government. In most cases, voters are only marginally informed. They may have seen one or two of the candidates, but it's just as likely they know very little or nothing about any candidate. As they cast their votes, they ask, which person on this ballot most likely shares my values? The Utah myth says, the Republican. So that's how they vote. If the voter is LDS, and a very large percentage of Utah voters are, then the myth is even stronger because it says the Republican is probably LDS and the Democrat probably isn't. The Utah myth is how we created our sick government. How do we fix it? The only solution is to eliminate the supermajority, to restore balance, to create some healthy opposition. And how do we do that? We elect more Democrats. What? Aren't Democrats scary and immoral? If those questions popped into your head, then you've been affected by the Utah myth. I'm not suggesting you vote for someone just because they're a Democrat, any more than you should vote for someone just because they're a Republican. I'm suggesting that you get to know your candidates. When you get to know them, make your own determination as to which one best represents your values. If you find that both candidates are acceptable, then vote for the Democrat, because that's the only way we can fix our sick government. Electing more Republicans won't do it. Opposition is a universal principle. It applies to government just like everything else. We won't have a healthy government if we allow either political party to have a supermajority. Don't let the Utah myth determine how you vote.